All right, we're back with my next John Varvatos JomaShop splurge that I went through. This is John Varvatos Artisan Blu, so BLU, because we're fancy. We don't want to put the E on there to make it less fancy. So there we go, Artisan Blu from John Varvatos. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, because of the bottle, I wanted to look at it. I already kind of opened this one, and maybe I might have taken a spray or two, but we'll go ahead and talk about it as if I didn't do that. So we're all just gonna pretend together. So there's the bottle. I love it. John Varvatos loves making presentations that are consistent but still pretty cool. So that's a mid-level designer, budget friendly, great option for most people. I don't know what this is smelling like. Pretend, but we'll talk about it. So it's Artisan Blu from John Varvatos. I think I paid about $34 for this. Can't quite remember off the top of my head. It's an EDT formulation. Again, not super expensive, not super high concentration. It's going to, in theory, here's the opening notes real fast for you. It's going to be bergamot, which is going to be a more bitter citrus. Then you're going to get basil. Then you get chayote. I'm going to have to look up what that is. And then lavender, followed by, again, bitter orange. So we get a bitter bergamot, or bergamot, which is typically more bitter. Then we get bitter orange on top of that. So this is going to me, be on the spicy side of things. And apparently chayote is a part of a group of fruits and vegetables. So interesting, and almost no information about it, but I might jump back in when I do my follow-up and talk about what chayote actually is. Sorry for not knowing it, sorry for being so unprofessional. So then we get middle notes of palmarosa, we get geranium, we get orange blossom, clary sage, iris, which is hit or miss for me. Iris, in fact. Then we get base notes of pine, cedar, awesome, love that. Excellent option. I love pine and cedar notes because it's very masculine in my personal opinion. Followed by pistachio, tamarisk, and patchouli. That pistachio note seems almost a little out of place. And also I was kind of expecting, based on this bottle and the presentation, that this would be kind of a marine kind of vibe, or at least aquatic in some way. So I'm not really gonna, I don't see that a whole lot from those notes, but who the heck knows? Maybe the notes are wrong. Maybe the notes are just idealistic and inappropriate, but we'll find out. I know, see how it sprayed automatically? It's because I already sprayed it once because I couldn't resist. Now, what I got from this is a lot of spice in the opening, a lot of like really masculine bitter spice. Very refreshing, very crisp, but it was not a sweet citrus at all. And it still isn't. It's not a sweet citrus. It's a bitter, spicy kind of opening, which, if you, again, bitter's not bad, bitter's just a quality. But it's very, very spicy in the opening. On the middle notes, I don't notice the middle notes right away. It might be that it's kind of linear, and that means that basically all the notes kind of come out all at once in your face. But I'm definitely not getting the cedar or the pine, and certainly not the pistachio or patchouli on the paper right out of the bat. So I know it's not completely a linear fragrance, but there's already a little bit of that geranium in there. And maybe a little bit that kind of iris, which is a little almost like a slightly powdery kind of sweet floral. So maybe the top notes and middle notes are kind of linear and together, but maybe not. Let's do some skin. And if you don't know, if you've never seen my channel before, the way I do it is I do it on paper. I give you my impressions like I just did. Then we do it on skin. I talk about if there's any real differences in how it presents, and then we go from there. And then it's gonna blip away for a split second, and that'll be enough time for me to wear it for several days and kind of give you a more full rundown. And then we can go from there, and you can decide, hey, do I want this? Or hey, does this guy suck at reviewing things? Or hey, I love this man, please do more reviews. All those things you can have the opinion of. Okay, so on skin, it's a little sweeter. That's not abnormal because most of those sweet notes, the chemicals they use, once the heat's involved, the heat helps them dissipate more quickly, whereas paper is essentially whatever my room temp is, which right now is about 70 degrees. My skin's closer to 90 something degrees because of my temperature. So all those various notes pop off more quickly. And sweet notes tend to be the first to dissipate. So I'm getting a little more sweetness to it. A little more basil. The basil comes out with some sweetness, and there's also a little bit of sweetness in that lavender that comes out in the opening. Normally I see lavender as like a heart note or a base note, but to have it in the top here, I don't know if that's just a marketing gimmick, I don't know what, but it could just be that the first, really the 10 notes in the opening and the middle are really just all in there together, which I think is probably the most likely explanation for what I'm smelling right now, but it's all very, very pleasant and nice. It's it's not quite a blue fragrance, in the sense that when I think of blue fragrances, I think of like the blue shower gel kind of aromatic vibe to it. This is a little spicier than that. So I wouldn't call this although it is Artisan Blu with no E at the end, I would not call this a traditional blue fragrance off the top. There's more going on there than just like, hey, this is like fresh shower gel. So there's definitely more happening there. But yeah, those are the opening notes. It's a little bit more sweet on skin. You get those, but on paper, which means probably on your shirt as well. It's a little more spicy and bitter. Overall, it's definitely a very masculine presenting cologne, but it's also a very clean kind of smell. So I'm gonna see if those other like various florals come out and some of those herbal notes and some of those wood, and like I call them a sour wood, even though that's not a technical term, because pine and cedar tend to have that kind of sourness to them when they're dry down. We'll see what happens there. And I'm also interested in seeing if the pistachio kind of shows up over time, but we'll blip for just a second for you guys. But for me, it's gonna be several days of trying this out and making notes and stuff. So we'll jump in there. So see y'all in just a second. All right, let's talk about Artisan Blu from John Varvatos. After wearing this several times, I did my initial opening about it a while ago, and I've worn it quite a few times since then. And this is one I will say is blind buy safe. However, if you're looking for some kind of beast mode, fill the room, last for 8 hours kind of fragrance, this probably isn't it. Now that being said, most blue fragrances don't do that. Most marine fragrances don't tend to do that. This one, even though marine notes aren't listed, it's very much in that line. It's like the rosemary kind of gives it like a salty notion to it. Overall, I would say this is a very good, sorry, not rosemary, my fault, basil, excuse me. Overall, it's kind of got salty notions to it because of all the bitter herbs and bitter citrus that are in the opening. The dry down, it becomes kind of cedar and piney. It's a very masculine, traditional, office-safe blue fragrance. So it's nothing wrong with it. The biggest issue is it doesn't last all day. It projects probably about maybe within 3 feet of your body, and that's good for about 2 hours. After that, it gets is obviously close to the skin. Now that might make it kind of a bummer for someone who's wanting to make themselves like be known in a crowd, but it's perfect for the office. It's not like a standard woody fragrance that's just like, oh my God, old man. It's got that marine kind of blue. It's kind of like that, a little bit of that Bleu de Chanel kind of vibe to it. It's not that, it's not like a sweet soapy blue, like blue shower gel kind of body wash kind of notion to it. It's more bitter, more professional, more masculine, a little more traditional, but overall, it's a nice fragrance. It's perfect for going, this is a great gym scent. You put it on an hour later at the gym, you don't stink up the gym, you smell nice. Maybe you're going out to lunch with friends, you put it on, you'll smell good for about 4 hours. Evening out, that kind of stuff is perfect for that. So it's very good for those things. And of course, the bottle presentation is nice. But yeah, overall, this is a good fragrance for what it does. If you're it's also good because it's a budget designer fragrance. So the quality is actually pretty high. It's not like sickeningly sweet. It's got some depth to it because it's not just a bunch of candy smells and bubblegumminess. It's got some bitter citrus and it's got some more bitter woodsy and herbals in there. Makes it very aromatic, but also very masculine, so you don't just smell like straight up sweet shower gel. But yeah, really great fragrance, great for a summertime rotation if you're trying to be cost effective, because this thing can be had for like 30 some odd dollars for a big bottle of 125 mil. So yeah, great option if you're looking for it from John Varvatos, John Varvatos Blu. So that's my review, guys. Thank you so much for watching.